Hey everybody, Tim here for a new episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Season 1, Episode 8, The Elysian Kingdom. I liked it. I would say almost a love-hate relationship. So let me take a step back before this one took a lot of thought. Which is kind of the bad thing of like I watch an episode and then immediately do these videos without thinking about them. So there's a misconception that the Next Generation introduced the holodeck. So that's incorrect. The holodeck originated in the animated series, The Impractical Joker, one of my favorite fucking episodes ever. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, it was called the Recreational Deck. But it's a great episode. So, as this episode does predate the original series, so obviously it predates the animated series, so obviously it predates the original series, it's safe to assume that they don't yet have the holodeck. So this episode is as close to a holodeck episode as they can currently get, which I am 100% okay with. So I prefer Star Trek when it's being silly. Like I love the serious episodes. I think I've said that in very recent episode reviews. Like I'm totally fine with The Inner Light. I'm totally fine with Chain of Command, Measure of a Man, like any of the Voyager. Like I'm fine with those episodes. But I also like when Star Trek doesn't take itself seriously. And that's one of the things I love about Star Trek is there's something for everyone. And this episode kind of proves it. And so this episode, the whole thing is basically what would be considered a holodeck episode because it's so crazy. It's very reminiscent of the episode, escapes me at the moment, the Next Generation episode where Q makes them into like the Robin Hood character. I am not a merry man. Like it's very reminiscent of that, which granted that in itself is not a holodeck episode. So it's very reminiscent. The thing that threw me off about this episode is it literally, spoiler alert, it's literally the end of Rukia. And like granted, I feel like we just got there. Like we just met her. And granted, if I was doing this as they were airing, this would be 8 weeks later. But I was like, we're like, that's it? Like, that's the end of the storyline? There's a little Q reference. Like, that's it. That's the end of her storyline already? I felt like her storyline was going to go much, much longer. One thing I do want to bring up, a blink and you miss it cameo, if you will. The book, which the title is The Elysian Kingdom, but I swear to God, the book was something like The Kingdom of Elysium or something. But the book that Mbenga is reading to Rukia is written by Benny Russell, who, like, it's, like I said, you barely just see him open the book, but me knowing Star Trek, I was like, wait, and I rewound it and looked at it again, and I was like, holy shit. So that's Avery Brooks's character, that's Sisko's character in Far Beyond the Stars, which again, fantastic episode. Not a jokey episode, a very real episode. But in that episode, Sisko / Avery Brooks, who directed it, plays Benny Russell. And then they even did a sequel episode to that. But so I was like, oh, hey, look, the science fiction writer evidently wrote this. Who knows? But I was like, that's a nice little, very, very blink and you miss it cameo. I also thought the Ortega scene, my favorite Star Trek movie, and I have said this many, many times, and nobody ever believes me, is Star Trek Generations. I don't care if nobody else hates it. I don't care if it goes against the even and odds rules. My accent came out right there. I don't care if it goes against the even and odds rules. I fucking love Star Trek Generations. And the scene where she's like scanning for life signs totally reminded me of Data, like life signs. So that just like, little shout out reference. I really, really liked it. other little things of them being in that world. The Crimson Guard really made me laugh because it was clearly the security guards that were just wearing the red shirts. So stuff like that. I might say this might be the most Hemmer type episode so far. Like, granted, he was pretty important in the one where it was him and Ohora trapped, but this one I felt like he had more character development, and I loved all of his overacting of like the abracadabra. Like, I really liked his scenes. Also, I realize I'm a couple years behind for this show, so I already know there's a musical episode coming up. But just seeing La'an do her little musical scene where she's like holding her dog and everything. I should have brought Little Bear for this. Where she does her little singing scene. I was like, was that like the seeds for the musical episode? Like, is that where that came from? So stuff like that were really good. Overall, the all-powerful being, which is literally what they call them, the all-powerful being, I'm so burnt out on. Even from the original series, which this did make me think of Tellerine, whatever, the not QQ. Kind of made me think of him where he's just making these people play in their little games, and like I just compared it to the Q episode of Robin Hood. Like, even in the, like, no, not necessarily, oh yeah, even the original series, if you go back and watch my reviews for the original series, and especially in the Next Generation, I felt like there were so many, like, it's a being so far above us that we don't understand. And it's like, that's it? That's a little, Deus Ex Machina? Like, that's a little cop-out, but whatever. So, the whole, like, hey, this is a nebula that's alive, and it's going to take my daughter to cure her. Okay. And then the whole thing at the end where M'Banga has to come up with, like, oh, do I sacrifice the crew or do I sacrifice my daughter? We're 8 episodes in. How many of these episodes have I been like, oh, it's the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few? And so, like, he's like, I have to go with the crew. Like, I have to sacrifice my daughter. So, there were parts of it. I love the goofiness. I love, like, Pike just being the coward. And, like, I thought every single person in this episode did a fantastic fucking job acting. Every single one. They were so good and they were so great. The overall episode, I was like, I see what you're doing and I really appreciate it. But it's not 100% of a home run for me. And it ties up too neat, I guess. Especially 8 episodes. Like, I was really hoping to see more of, like, the Rukia storyline kind of go on and maybe even, like, cure her or something. But, I don't know. I liked it. I didn't like it. It's kind of in the middle for me. It's a little bit hit and miss. So I'm curious what you guys think. Like, did you want to see more of Rukia? Are you glad that storyline's over? Are you curious what this nebula is or who this is or what this is? What do you think about holodeck / not holodeck episodes? Because like I said, Q had a lot of great episodes, but they weren't technically holodeck episodes. Or there's like the one holodeck where like Data plays everybody. Like, there's so many good holodeck episodes. How many of you have seen The Impractical Joker? Please tell me I'm not the only person that's ever seen that. Which I know I'm not. That's being facetious. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Thank you guys for watching, subscribing, commenting, all that jazz. And I will see you guys next time for the penultimate episode for this season. Well, I love this title. All Those Who Wander.